So do games need rollback? That's a good question. I'm sure you all saw that article, right? About Persona possibly having rollback, which I think was a very interesting, the article was very interesting to me because everyone's response to it was incredibly different from one another. I feel like this response was maybe the most like, you really got to see who was a glass half full and who was a glass half empty person, which I found very amusing. Yeah, like this shit. Atlas considering rollback implementation in Persona 4 Arena Ultimax remastered in future patch. I feel like there were so many responses to this announcement. Some people were like, well, it's not gonna have it at launch. That fucking sucked. And then some people were like, yo, they're considering it though? And that's just like really funny to me conceptually. Yeah, a lot of people misunderstood it and thought like, oh, this is definitely just gonna have rollback, right? Like that's what this means. Nope. That is definitely not what that means. You know what that article reads to me? You know when you're a kid and you're like, yo mom, can we go to McDonald's? I really want to go to McDonald's. And she's like, maybe. You know how that maybe actually means no, but they just didn't say it? That's what that article reads like to me. Now, I'm not that pessimistic. Realistically, I do think there is a potential chance that it will get rollback. I don't think it's like ruled out completely. But I definitely think, first off, if you thought rollback was important, you would have had it there in the first place. Second off, if you thought it was important, you would just confirm that you're going to do it and not say, maybe. We're going to look into it. Possibly. Because you know what? Other companies have said that. They said that about Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball's like, yeah, we're looking into rollback, but it's pretty difficult. Okay, it's been like 2 years since they said that shit. What other games are there? I don't know. It's just been said about other games like, we'll look into it. And then it never fucking happens, right? So I think that's my take on it, is that like if you really cared, it would have either been there in the first place or you would have confirmed it's going to be there in the future and not just said maybe. Because maybe means you're still in the talking process. Or you're just saying it because you want people to buy the game, thinking it will get rollback in the future, and then that's it. They did say it about BB, and then it took like a year since then for it to actually get rollback, which is fine. But also in BB's case, they should have just said they're going to do it instead of say maybe. But it's funny because it kind of spawned this discussion of like, I've seen people saying like, well, why do people value rollback so much more than gameplay? People only play games for rollback now and they don't care about the gameplay anymore, and that's just wrong. Like there's all these great games with like great gameplay, but they're not rollback and you're just gonna overlook them? Yeah, you got it. Dragon Ball, I fucking love that game. You see me playing it? Grand Blue, I think that game's pretty fun. It was my favorite fighting game when it first came out. You see me playing that shit? Nope, not anymore. And other people are like, well, what about, games that do have rollback? How come you don't play them? You're right, I don't play games like Solid Girls and KI and, whatever other games have rollback. It turns out you need both. You need gameplay and you need rollback. I'm not going to play your game for one of the two. I need both. I need two. I need rollback and fun gameplay. Not every game's for everybody, which is fine. But if your game doesn't have rollback, it's for nobody. So I don't know, I think that take is just really, really stupid, in my opinion, of like, rollback isn't all that should matter. And like, I'm not saying like, if you like a game that doesn't have rollback, that's perfectly fine. Like if you're willing to put up with it, and in some cases you have to put up with it, right? Like if you like Grand Blue, or if you like whatever delay-based game you're playing right now, that's fine. You gotta do what you gotta do. But like, to imply that people are like only caring about rollback and not looking at the game itself, it's like, I don't care how fun the game is if I can't play it. Dragon Ball is a fucking fantastic time. I stopped playing it because it's not actually fun if I can't play it under proper conditions. Didn't Punk just like tweet about how he's trying to play Dragon Ball and it was like pointless? Because I think Punk's trying to play Dragon Ball for some reason. I don't know why. Playing DBFZ online is literally impossible to actually practice, lol. I don't feel like I'm learning anything because I can't block the easiest shit and can't do any optimal combo. It doesn't matter if the game's fun, you can't play it. You can't do anything you're supposed to do. And then another take I've been seeing as an extension to this, I've been seeing people say, well, look at these other games that are delay based and they're doing just fine. People will be like, DBFZ is doing just fine without rollback netcode. Obviously it would do better with it, but it's got great numbers online all the time. And my answer to that, so let's pull up Dragon Ball Steam numbers. All right, DBFZ has 1,800 people playing it right now on Steam. And God only knows how many people on PS4. Is this game on Xbox? I think it's on Xbox. There's probably like 2 people over there. All right, whatever. So anyways, this game has 1,800 people on PC right now, right? This game is Dragon Ball Z, one of the biggest IPs on the planet. My mom knows what Dragon Ball is, okay? She knows what Dragon Ball is. Everyone on the planet knows what Dragon Ball is. This game should not have only 1,800 people playing it. Yeah, it is impressive that it has that many with the terrible netcode that it has, but it should have way more people playing it. And granted, there are other things that happened to this game that affected it, such as like Toei in the first year shutting down tournaments and shit, which didn't help. But like this game should be way more popular than it is, but it's not. So whenever people bring that up, like, yeah, maybe the game's doing all right, but like it's all right by fighting game standards. Like fighting game standards, that number is pretty good. By like actual video game standards, this shit sucks. This shit's whack. Like, hold up. Do a quick comparison. Well, not really a comparison, but alright, so like this is Strive, right? Strive. Fucking what is Guilty Gear? Who the fuck knows what Guilty Gear is, alright? Way more people know what Dragon Ball Z is than they know what Guilty Gear is. Why does Strive have more people than a Dragon Ball Z game? Because you can actually play the game. You can get on and play the video game with human beings without having to fucking sacrifice a goat or some shit. You can just play people. Alright, so this is Blaze Blue. This is a game that came out, how long ago did the CF come out? It's like 5 years old or some shit, 4 years, something like that. I don't know. That game's old, right? It's older. This game had like 20 people on it before it got rollback. And it got rollback and it shot up to like 3,000 people for a while. 6 years old? Word. So it's a 6-year-old game, and now it finally gets rollback, and now it's at almost the same numbers as Dragon Ball FighterZ. Blaze Blue should not have almost comparable numbers to a Dragon Ball Z game. It just shouldn't. This game is older than this one. This game is way older than this one. What is happening here? It says this game is playable. And you want to know another game that actually just got a shit ton of content, right? It got 2 new characters. It got a balance update. It has a balance update coming up in the future. It has more DLC characters coming up in the future. It has a tournament coming up. This game has 300 people. Because you can't play the fucking game. Like, this number is actually impressive to me, honestly, that it has this many people. And I'm not trying to shit on Grand Blue. I actually feel bad. Like, I wish this game had rollback because it would be doing so much better than it is. That's the game's biggest issue, is it does not have rollback currently. So this game that came out more recently than this game or this game is doing significantly worse as than have rollback. This game's only doing as well as it is because it's the Dragon Ball IP. And, you know, obviously the game's pretty fun. This game is doing as well as it is because it finally got fucking rollback despite being 6 years old. And this game is doing as well as it is because it's the newest game with fantastic rollback. Grand Blue does in fact have more than Melty. I don't know what happened there. Actually, I have some suspicions about what happened with Melty. So Melty came out before all these games. Apparently Melty's only 3 months old, by the way. I thought this game was like 6 months old. Time flies by, or in fact it doesn't fly, I guess. But this game has less players than Grand Blue does. This game does have rollback. Granted, the rollback in this game is not good. It like barely works. I think what happened with this game is that it just doesn't, like, it has rollback, but it's not good rollback. And it's not a popular IP at all, at least here in America. And this game does not appeal to casuals at all, I don't think. Like, Strive does fantastic, because this game appeals to the casuals like crazy. This game just looks really good. As much as we hate to admit it, visuals matter a lot for fighting games. And Strive looks great to most people. But this is a game that appealed to casuals and is an actual playable fucking video game. And I will say one other thing that helps Strive. As awful as this shit is, this fucking horror zone that we call the Celestial Floor, this ranking system is actually pretty good for newer players. And I think that helps it out a lot. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that rollback is incredibly important. So people trying to imply that, you know, some games have delay base and they do just fine. How come Persona can't be the same case, or any game? You're like not looking at the bigger picture. Like, yeah, Dragon Ball is doing fine, but this game should not have 2K or under 2K people. This game should have way more people in this.